Today's video is on the war you didn't know that you were fighting, from the series Winning the Battle of the Mind. Every morning at 5:30 a.m., David sat at his desk with the exact same goal: write the proposal, build the business, fix the habit. On paper, David had every tool. He had read the books, bought the planners, set the alarms, and optimized his workspace. Yet every morning at 5:45 a.m., a familiar paralysis set in. He found himself opening endless browser tabs, cleaning his desk, and telling himself he needed just a little more research before starting. By 7 a.m., frustration took over. He labeled himself lazy, undisciplined, and inconsistent. David believed he was losing a war against procrastination and time management. He was wrong. He was fighting downstream symptoms, completely unaware of the real battle raging at source. Welcome to this channel where we bring you stories of hope, resilience, success, growth, and development. Please subscribe so that we're able to bring you more stories. Thank you. So back to the story on the war you didn't know that you were fighting. On David, what David did not realize was that his behavior wasn't failing in a vacuum. His actions were merely executing a script running silently in the background. Underneath the open tabs and the hesitation was a quiet, automatic narrator whispering, "If you finish this and it falls, it proves you aren't good enough. As long as you don't finish, you keep the potential alive." In psychology, the mind prioritizes congruence over ambition. Your brain does not exist to make you successful. It exists to keep your reality consistent with what you believe about yourself. David was forcing external discipline onto an internal identity that was terrified of exposure. His willpower was fighting a war against his own deeply rooted narrative. And willpower loses that fight every single time. Transformation never fails because people lack effort. It fails because they try to force new actions without unmasking the belief that makes those actions feel dangerous. David's turning point did not come from the stricter routine. It came from the morning he stopped fighting his behavior and started questioning his thoughts. When the hesitation hit, instead of calling himself undisciplined, he paused and performed a simple diagnostic, the Thought Audit. He asked a single question: what thought did I just accept as fact before my hands froze? For the first time, he saw the invisible opponent. Over the next few minutes, we are going to walk you through this exact journey. We will dismantle the automatic voice, trace where your mental blueprints were built, rewire the neutral paths that keep you stuck, and establish daily mental stewardship. The battle isn't with your calendar, your habits, or your circumstances. It never was. Instead of writing the opening strategy, David rearranged his desk. He adjusted the alignment of his notebook, checked an inbox he had clearly 30 minutes prior, and opened 14 browser tabs to research competitors he had already understood. This wasn't laziness. It was pseudo-productivity, the subconscious mind manufacturing safety. Low-stakes friction to avoid the threat of real execution. By 7:30, the morning window had closed. The initial surge of ambition had completely evaporated, replaced by a bitter, familiar exhaustion. Staring at the empty deck, David passed the same verdict on himself he had accepted for years. I am undisciplined. I can build empires for other people, but I can't lead myself. He thought he was losing a battle against poor time management. He was completely blind to the real war. Behavior is merely a visible tip of a submerged monolith. The unmade calls, the stalled proposals, the broken routines are all surface events. Deep beneath the waterline sits the hidden mass dictating your entire trajectory, your core identity, emotional blueprints, and the automatic narrator running unchallenged behind every conscious thought. In cognitive psychology, the mind has the powerful tendency towards consistency. When a new action conflicts with a deeply held belief about who you are, that conflict can create resistance. Ensuring your outward reality never contradicts what you believe about yourself at the root. If your internal blueprint views high visibility as dangerous, your mind will actively sabotage external progress to keep you safe. And so what had happened to David? Years earlier, a public professional failure had quietly installed an unspoken defense mechanism in David's mind. If you stay behind the scenes and execute for others, you survive. If you step out with your own voice, you risk fatal exposure. His procrastination was not a lack of willpower. It was an invisible protective shell designed to keep him safe from the perceived danger of standing alone. So every single action follows an unbending sequence. First, an established belief. Second, an automatic thought. Third, a physiological emotion. And finally, the resulting behavior. Most people exhaust their entire lives fighting step 4, trying to force new habits with sheer grit, while leaving the toxic belief at step 1 completely intact. Attempting to fix your life through external productivity hacks without examining your mind is like bailing water out of a sinking boat without patching the hull. You spend all your physical and emotional reserves just trying to stay afloat, wondering why every morning begins with the exact same leak. David's breakthrough did not come from setting a 4:30 a.m. alarm. It came the moment he stopped reacting to his friction and started auditing his mind. When his heart froze at the keyboard, he opened the notebook, asked 3 objective questions. What exact thought just crossed my mind? Is this an absolute fact or an old defense mechanism? What is the true cost of accepting this lie as truth? And so for the first time, the fog cleared. David realized that hesitation wasn't his permanent character. It was an unexamined mental default. By bringing the invisible thought into the light of the objective truth, the emotional grip broke. He closed the extra tabs and accepted the discomfort of being seen and wrote the strategy. Thank you.